Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. Do not move past this screen. This is an urgent interception. I need you to pause whatever you are doing right now, and I need you to take one deep breath before we proceed. The algorithm did not bring you here. Heaven deliberately interrupted your feed because time is running out. You are not here by accident. You are standing on the edge of a massive shift. A specific date has been marked in the spiritual realm. June 28th is not just another day on the calendar. It is a divine deadline. God has drawn a line in the sand, and heaven has specifically selected you to cross it because of your enduring faith. But there is something you must know first. If you swipe away now, you will miss the exact warning meant to protect you. The window for your breakthrough is closing very fast. I am speaking directly to your spirit. You have felt completely drained lately. Your body is exhausted, and your mind is constantly racing while you try to figure out what is wrong. This is not normal fatigue. The heaviness you feel is the pressure of the spiritual atmosphere shifting. You are about to step into the 3 most critical days of your life. June 28th is the anchor point. Everything you have prayed for is waiting on the other side of this door, but the enemy has set a hidden trap to keep you away. You must be prepared. Listen carefully to my voice. The darkness is absolutely terrified of what happens when you wake up. They have deployed every distraction to keep you asleep. They want you to close this message, and they want you to think this is just another random video on the internet. Do not let them win. You must fight back. You have been marked for a generational wealth transfer. Heaven has approved a massive upgrade in your spiritual authority. But you cannot walk through the door on June 28th if you are blind to the trap. I have been sent to hand you the key, and you must hold on to it tightly right now. Do not let it slip. People around you have been acting very strangely. Doors have been slamming shut in your face. You feel isolated. You feel misunderstood. Do not panic. This is all part of the rigorous preparation, and God is isolating you to protect your frequency from the coming storm. You are safely hidden away. The days leading up to June 28th will test everything inside you. You will feel the urge to give up. You will feel the urge to return to your old life. Do not look back. The old life is completely dead, and there is nothing left for you in the ruins of your past. Your future demands you. I need you to understand the magnitude of this moment. The universe does not make mistakes. Your soul was crying out for a sign in the middle of the night. This is that sign. You asked heaven to show you if you were on the right path, and this is your undeniable confirmation arriving right on time. Receive it gladly. But confirmation alone is not enough to secure the blessing. You need the exact blueprint to navigate these 3 marked days. The enemy is planning an ambush right before the dawn. If you leave this message before the end, you will walk right into their snare without even knowing it. Stay with me to the very end. Every tear you have cried in secret has been collected. Every prayer you whispered when you felt completely broken has been heard. The divine court has ruled in your favor. The gavel has dropped. The decree has been signed, and the payout is scheduled for the timeline crossing on June 28th. But you must stay alert. The people who drained your energy are feeling the shift too. They do not know why, but they feel your power returning. They will try to pull you back down before the portal opens. They will send text messages, and they will offer fake apologies to steal your attention. Do not fall for their lies. Your silence is your ultimate weapon right now. Do not engage with their desperate attempts to steal your light. Guard your energy like a precious treasure. The 3 days surrounding June 28th require your absolute focus, because you cannot afford to leak power to those who belong in your past. Stay completely silent. I am watching the spiritual realm right now. The chains that have held your bloodline captive for generations are snapping. You are the cycle breaker. You are the one chosen to rewrite the history of your family. But the final lock requires a specific frequency to open, and you hold that exact key in your hands. Use it wisely. That frequency is being transmitted through this very message. If you break the connection now, the transmission fails. You will be left standing outside the door while the blessing is poured out. I am pleading with you to stay, and I am asking you to give yourself this one chance to receive the full truth. You deserve it. The pain you went through was never a punishment. It was a rigorous training program. You had to be forged in the fire so you could carry the weight of the coming glory. Only a master of reality can handle what is about to be released on June 28th, because it requires immense spiritual maturity. You have that strength. You are no longer the victim of your circumstances. You are a weapon of light. And right now, the light is blinding the forces that tried to keep you in the dark. They are scrambling to find a way to stop you, but it is already too late. Your victory is permanently written in the stars above. You have been feeling so incredibly heavy lately. Your physical body is completely exhausted right now. Every single muscle aches with a strange tension you cannot explain, and when you finally try to rest your heavy head at night, the quiet peace you desperately crave simply refuses to come. You toss and turn in bed for countless hours. Your weary mind constantly races through endless, anxious thoughts. This is not an ordinary physical fatigue. You are not just stressed from your daily working routine. The doctors might tell you it is just normal anxiety. The people around you might say you are simply working too hard and need a long vacation. But your intuitive spirit knows the absolute truth. You are feeling the massive weight of the spiritual realm pressing down on you. Your earthly body is acting as a highly sensitive antenna right now. It is picking up the massive energetic frequencies, shifting ahead of June 28th. You are literally feeling the old timeline collapsing beneath your very feet. It is deeply exhausting to hold so much pure light in a world that is so incredibly dark. You are fighting an unseen battle every single day. The sudden brutal headaches and the random waves of intense sadness are all part of this. You suddenly burst into hot tears for absolutely no logical reason. You feel a deep and heavy grief trapped right inside your chest. And this strange grief feels like you are desperately mourning a painful loss you cannot even name or truly understand. This is the profound spiritual purge. Heaven is pulling the deep generational trauma right out of your cellular memory. You are physically detoxing from years of living in pure survival mode. You spent so much of your precious life on constant high alert. You constantly watched your back and guarded your soft heart against painful betrayal. Now your nervous system is finally being forced to completely power down. Tap the like button as an act of agreement with what God just spoke to you. Your tired body desperately needs to know that it is entirely safe to release the tension now. You have carried the heavy weight of the whole world on your shoulders for far too long. No one ever truly thanked you for it. They just selfishly expected you to keep carrying it without a single complaint. They took your endless, beautiful kindness for granted. You poured your pure golden energy into deeply empty cups. You tried so hard to heal broken people who were utterly committed to remaining in the dark. And now your own precious cup is completely dry. You feel like you have absolutely nothing left to give to anyone around you. This painful emptiness is actually a divine setup. The universe had to aggressively drain you of all the toxic emotional attachments. If your hands were still completely full of their heavy emotional baggage, you could not receive the incoming blessing. The profound physical exhaustion you feel right now is the undeniable proof that the old karmic cycle is completely dead. You are stepping out of the dense energy matrix forever. You wake up at 3 in the morning with a sudden, terrifying jolt. Your heart is wildly pounding in the quiet, dark bedroom. The empty room feels incredibly strange and remarkably heavy. The blind world tries to lazily label this as a mere random sleep disorder. But this is a direct and urgent wake-up call from the divine heavenly realm. The angels are standing guard nearby. They are downloading ancient sacred wisdom directly into your sleeping spirit. Your conscious human mind simply cannot process the sheer overwhelming volume of this celestial data. That is why you wake up feeling like you ran a brutal marathon in your vivid dreams. You are actually traveling across vast dimensions. You are doing heavy spiritual lifting in the astral plane every night. Do not let anyone ever convince you that you are losing your mind. The deep isolation you feel right now is incredibly profound and absolutely necessary. You look at your old familiar friends and suddenly feel absolutely nothing in common with them anymore. Their loud conversations seem entirely trivial and completely meaningless to your awakening soul. You feel entirely alone. This intense social isolation is not a cruel, earthly punishment for anything you did wrong. It is a strictly enforced and highly necessary spiritual quarantine. Heaven deliberately placed a protective energy barrier around you to shield your rising frequency. The upcoming glorious activation on June 28th strongly requires a perfectly sterile and pure spiritual environment. Contaminated toxic energy from unhealed people could easily ruin the precise divine alignment. You have been quietly mourning the sudden, painful loss of these familiar earthly relationships. You wondered why everyone suddenly walked away or turned their cold backs on you. Let me tell you the beautiful and undeniable truth. They were divinely removed before the mighty storm arrived. Your glowing aura simply became too bright for their hidden internal demons to tolerate. When you started walking firmly in your true spiritual power, your divine light burned their comfortable dark shadows. They had to quickly flee because they could not easily manipulate your pure energy anymore. You are a weapon of light, and a weapon cannot be wielded by those who serve the dark. Listen carefully to this next part. You have wondered why your earthly body has felt shattered this past week. I promise to reveal the exact reason for your physical suffering. Your heavy body is not failing you at all. And while the blind world tries to convince you that you are simply sick, the universe is actively rewiring your nervous system from the inside out. Your deep spiritual circuitry is undergoing a massive upgrade. You cannot carry immense divine power through a shattered earthly vessel. The intense body aches and the deep fatigue are the physical symptoms of this heavenly reconstruction. Your shattered heart had to be completely rebuilt by the angels. God is expanding your physical capacity to hold the massive incoming wealth, because the blessing arriving on June 28th will overwhelm a broken system. You are finally getting ready. Step into the glorious light. Now, I want you to look back at the past 12 difficult months. Think about every single door that aggressively slammed shut right in your face. Think about the specific job you desperately wanted but did not get. Think about the person who abruptly walked away. You cried bitterly in the dark bedroom. You felt entirely rejected by the cold world around you, and you honestly believed you had done something wrong. You honestly thought your persistent prayers were ignored by heaven. You genuinely believed that you were cursed with terrible bad luck. Take a deep breath right now. Let this profound truth settle deeply into your weary spirit. Heaven did not ignore your desperate prayers at all. The universe heard the malicious conversations that you could not hear, and the divine realm saw the hidden traps that were set for your destruction. The Spirit protected you. Those painful closed doors were never a cruel punishment from a distant God. They were a rigorous divine protection protocol activated on your behalf. God deliberately slammed those heavy doors shut to save your precious life. If you had blindly walked into those specific rooms, your bright light would have been extinguished. Those people were assigned to drain your pure energy dry because the enemy knew you were destined for greatness. They were vicious wolves. You were feeling deeply lonely and entirely forgotten by everyone you loved. But you were actually experiencing a profound and necessary divine isolation. Heaven had to aggressively isolate you to keep your personal frequency perfectly pure. The universe was carefully hiding you away until the exact right moment arrived. You were a heavily guarded treasure waiting for the perfect alignment, and that alignment is approaching on June 28th. It is your time. Imagine if you had gotten everything you foolishly begged for last year. You would be permanently stuck in a deeply toxic environment right now. You would be desperately trying to survive among broken people who secretly hated your radiant light. You would have missed the greatest spiritual transfer of this century. Heaven loved you far too much to let that terrible tragedy happen, so the universe removed you from those dead rooms. You are no longer the broken empath who begs the blind world to understand them. You are a powerful cycle breaker who carries the holy fire. You are the one who survived the brutal storm completely alone, without any earthly help. And because you survived it alone, your deep spiritual roots are now entirely unshakable. The harsh wind cannot move you anymore. You are firmly planted in the solid ground of eternal divine truth, and no demonic force can uproot your destiny. Do not mourn the sudden loss of those highly toxic connections for another second. Every person who abruptly left your life was merely clearing the necessary physical space for your real blessing. They were selfishly holding up the heavy line of your divine destiny. The universe had to sweep them away to roll out the red carpet for your grand arrival. Your entrance is scheduled for June 28th, and heaven expects you to walk through those doors with confidence. You must fully accept your new elevated status without any lingering hesitation. You are a true master of reality who commands the unseen forces. Your quiet presence alone demands absolute respect from the unseen spiritual realm. The endless struggles of your painful past were merely the difficult training grounds for your upcoming royal reign. You passed the rigorous spiritual test with flying colors because you refused to let the bitter darkness turn your kind heart cold. Your incredibly pure heart is exactly why heaven explicitly chose you for this massive upgrade. You amazingly retained your beautiful ability to love, despite being repeatedly broken by selfish people. That is your ultimate spiritual superpower. The enemy tried extremely hard to make you bitter, but they failed completely. And now they must sit back and helplessly watch heaven reward you openly. While the grand table is prepared in the presence of your enemies, you have won. The painful divine isolation season is officially coming to a glorious end. You are about to confidently step out of the quiet shadows and into the blinding light of victory. But there is a hidden mechanism behind this massive, energetic shift that you must quickly understand. Something profound and deeply terrifying is happening in the spiritual atmosphere right now, and it involves the very toxic people who maliciously tried to destroy you in the dark because they finally realize what they lost. Listen carefully to this next part. The massive energy shift you are experiencing is not random, because the 3 days surrounding June 28th are an aggressive spiritual purge. Heaven is literally burning away the heavy debris of your past. You can feel the intense heat of this transformation in the air around you. The old reality is melting. Why is the atmosphere changing so suddenly? The divine realm is forcing a mandatory frequency upgrade. Your earthly vessel must vibrate at a completely new level to receive the incoming wealth. God is forcefully flushing out the stagnant energy that kept you stuck, and the sudden chaos is simply the sound of your invisible chains finally breaking. You might feel deeply dizzy or ungrounded right now. That is the exact mechanism of the heavenly purge working inside you. The universe is stripping away the lingering doubts and the ancient fears that haunted your bloodline, because you are the powerful cycle breaker. Breaking a generational cycle requires an immense surge of divine electricity. You hold the power. Take a deep breath and let this sink in. The gates of heaven are swinging wide open, specifically for you. But the massive light pouring through those gates is exposing everything hidden in the dark. And this illumination is exactly why your environment feels unstable today. The dark shadows simply cannot hide from your brilliant aura anymore. You are stepping into a profound divine alignment. The universe needs a physical act of obedience to lock your frequency into this new grid. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this alignment. Your simple action signals to the angelic forces that you are fully ready to receive, and you are consciously accepting the heavy mantle of leadership. But I must urgently warn you about a hidden danger. As the Great Purge clears your path, the enemy is preparing a massive illusion. There is a fatal trap being set up right before the breaking dawn. If you are not paying close attention right now, you will walk right into this carefully designed snare while the darkness tries to steal your miracle. The enemy knows exactly what is scheduled for June 28th. They cannot stop the blessing from coming down from heaven, but they can violently trick you into dropping it before the final finish line. They are preparing to send a very convincing counterfeit into your life. This fake blessing is explicitly designed to look like the exact thing you prayed for. It is a trap. Do not ignore this crucial sign. The false opportunity will arrive disguised as a familiar comfort or a sudden easy escape. It will try to pull you back into the exact same low vibration you just escaped, but you must fiercely protect your sacred energy field from these deceptive ghosts. You are the empath with boundaries now. Guard your holy gates. The spiritual purge of these 3 days is completely ruthless. God is not just removing toxic people from your immediate circle. The universe is actively dissolving the limiting mindsets that kept you playing small, and your old victim identity is being burned to absolute ashes. You are rising from those dark ashes as the undeniable master of reality. The sudden, overwhelming shifts in your daily mood are part of this eviction process. The dark entities that fed on your constant anxiety are starving to death. They are desperately clawing at the closing doors. The spiritual friction you feel in your physical body is the loud sound of their absolute defeat as they are permanently banished from your timeline. A weapon of light must be perfectly polished before it is used in battle. The uncomfortable friction you are experiencing is the intense polishing process. Heaven is sharpening your spiritual intuition so you can easily detect the incoming counterfeit, because you will intuitively know that the fake blessing carries a disturbing energy. Trust your deep gut instinct. You are currently walking across a massive spiritual bridge. The heavy bridge is violently shaking because of the huge storm underneath you, but you must keep your eyes firmly fixed on the shining door marked for June 28th. God is firmly holding your tired hand through the turbulent crossing. You will absolutely not fall down into the raging waters. The counterfeit is closely watching you cross the shaking bridge. The invisible trap is laid out just inches away from your final destination. You must learn exactly how to identify this dark illusion before it suddenly strikes. If you lose your focus now, you will have to repeat the entire painful cycle again, and I absolutely refuse to let that tragedy happen to you. The massive energetic purge is creating a huge vacuum in your life right now, and spiritual laws dictate that every empty vacuum must be quickly filled. The universe intends to fill that space with pure gold, but the darkness desperately hopes you will fill it with old toxic garbage out of sheer loneliness. You must bravely endure the quiet emptiness a little longer. The 3 marked days are your ultimate final exam before the coronation. The sudden, frightening energy drop is just the quiet calm before the massive storm of divine blessings. Hold your sacred ground. The glorious victory is almost completely yours to claim. The darkness is completely panicking right now. The invisible forces that fought you are losing their grip. They know exactly what is coming for you. The massive wealth transfer scheduled for June 28th absolutely terrifies them. They cannot stop the divine decree from manifesting in your life, and their total defeat is now entirely inevitable. Listen carefully to this next part. I warned you about a fatal trap and a dangerous counterfeit. That fake blessing is the sudden return of the narcissists from your painful past. They are suddenly reaching out to you again. They send random text messages, and they pretend they actually care about your well-being after brutally abandoning you in the dark. Do you want to know the real reason they are back? They can literally smell the incoming wealth transfer. These toxic people are desperately starving in the dark without your pure energy, because your beautiful light is getting noticeably brighter every single day. They want to attach themselves to your rising star before the massive heavenly payout arrives. You used to give them absolutely everything. You were the gentle empath who constantly begged for their basic respect. You poured your precious soul into their deeply empty cups, and they gladly drank you dry without ever saying thank you. But you evolved into the powerful cycle breaker. You finally cut the heavy cord and left them behind. Their current panic is very real and deeply physical. They cannot sleep peacefully at night anymore. They obsessively watch your quiet life from the hidden shadows. They clearly see the universe preparing a grand table for you in their presence, and the sheer magnitude of your upcoming blessing makes them feel incredibly small. It absolutely terrifies their dark souls. Take a deep breath right now. Notice how incredibly desperate their recent actions seem. They honestly thought they completely destroyed you when they walked away. They foolishly believed you would never recover from their brutal betrayal. But you survived the terrible storm completely alone, and you came out infinitely stronger than they ever expected you to be. They desperately wanted to keep you down in the dirt. If you stayed entirely broken, they felt falsely powerful and superior. Your deep misery was always their favorite daily food. But the divine realm is dramatically flipping the script right now, because your glorious rise to power is their ultimate spiritual punishment. They are choking on their karma. The upcoming wealth transfer is a complete reversal of fortunes. The universe is actively taking the stolen authority away from them, and heaven is rightfully returning that immense power directly to your hands. This is the perfect divine justice you patiently prayed for. The scales of cosmic balance are finally tipping heavily in your favor today. They will bring you fake apologies wrapped in pretty words. They will convincingly say they have changed and learned their difficult lesson. Do not believe a single word they say. This is the exact trap I warned you about before the breaking dawn. If you mistakenly let them back inside your sacred space, they will violently steal your heavy crown right before the portal opens on June 28th. Your complete silence is your strongest energetic shield. The empath with boundaries does not reply to demonic whispers. You do not owe any explanations to the broken people who deliberately chose to misunderstand you, and you simply let them starve in the cold isolation they created. Your total lack of response is the loudest rejection they will ever hear. Every single time you ignore their desperate bait, you pass the final test. Heaven closely watches your physical reaction to these toxic ghosts. You prove to the angels that you are truly ready for the June 28th portal, because a real master of reality does not negotiate with emotional terrorists. You stand firmly in your quiet, absolute power. Let them sit alone in their suffocating panic. They brought this heavy judgment upon their own heads. They foolishly chose to abuse the chosen one when you were vulnerable. The universe is aggressively collecting their massive karmic debt right now, and you do not need to lift a single finger to execute this perfect divine vengeance. God is fighting the battle. You are a dangerous weapon of light. Your continued success is the absolute greatest revenge you could ever inflict on the darkness. It is a quiet authority that requires absolutely no spoken words to establish dominance. You just keep rising higher into your new beautiful timeline, while they remain permanently stuck in the miserable hell of their past. The massive shift is happening right this very second. The dark forces have completely lost their unholy grip on your destiny, and the bitter narcissists are rapidly fading into absolute nothingness behind you. You are standing tall as the untouchable master of your reality. The long wait is over. You are finally free. But how do you know for sure that the portal is actively opening? You need physical proof that the spiritual transfer is already underway. There are 3 specific signs arriving in your daily life right now. If you clearly see these undeniable physical markers, the massive heavenly wealth is already knocking loudly at your front door. Do not miss these crucial signals. You asked for physical proof that the spiritual transfer is already happening. Heaven is sending undeniable physical markers right into your daily life. Do not ignore these crucial signs. The universe is speaking loudly, and you must recognize the sacred language of the divine realm. There are 3 specific signs proving the portal is open. Let me reveal the first sign right now. Number 1. You are waking up exactly at 3 a.m., almost every single night. Your eyes snap wide open in the dark bedroom. Your chest feels incredibly tight. The earthly doctors will try to lazily label this as basic insomnia, but it is actually a massive divine download. The angelic realm is aggressively upgrading your subconscious mind, while the noisy earthly world is completely silent. Your tired spirit is receiving the sacred blueprint for June 28th, because you are literally standing in the holy presence of heaven during those quiet, early hours. Do not reach for your phone when this happens again. Just lie perfectly still and breathe slowly. Allow the divine frequencies to completely rewrite your internal operating system without any human interference. You are being prepared. Number 2. You are seeing the number 111 everywhere you look. You quickly glance at the clock, and it is exactly 1:11. You buy a simple coffee, and the change is exactly $1.11. This is absolutely not a random coincidence. The universe never operates on blind luck or foolish chance, but every single number is a deliberate message sent straight from the heavens. 111 is the ultimate heavenly confirmation that your current thoughts are instantly manifesting into physical reality. Heaven is literally knocking loudly on your earthly front door. When you see this powerful sacred sequence, you must immediately monitor your inner thoughts, and you must ensure your mind is entirely focused on the massive wealth coming your way. Claim your power. Number 3. You feel a sudden and intense physical repulsion to superficial environments. You try to visit the exact same places you used to enjoy, but your stomach suddenly turns into painful knots. You simply cannot stand the shallow conversations of the unawakened people around you. Your highly elevated frequency is actively rejecting the low vibration matrix of this broken world. The empath with boundaries no longer tolerates empty noise. You fiercely demand absolute depth and pure spiritual authenticity. This sudden social intolerance is the absolute clearest sign that you have completely outgrown your old timeline. You are a rare anomaly. The heavy atmosphere of normal earthly life literally suffocates you now, because your lungs were redesigned to breathe pure celestial air. Take a deep breath right now. Let these 3 undeniable signs settle deeply into your weary spirit. If you have experienced any of these profound markers this week, you are officially standing in the final divine alignment. The universe is clearly shouting that your long waiting season is completely over. The heavy generational curse that bound your entire family is officially broken today. You are the powerful cycle breaker who finally cracked the sacred code. Your earthly body is vibrating at a completely different frequency now. You are physically preparing to cross the major threshold on June 28th. The upcoming spiritual wealth transfer heavily requires a vessel that is completely empty of old toxic emotional debris, and you are that newly emptied vessel. The sudden loss of your old friends and your old habits was just the final clearing phase. God is rapidly making immense room for the massive overflow of grace. You must bravely accept this vast divine space. Do not try to eagerly fill the quiet emptiness with useless distractions or meaningless noise. The absolute silence is where your ultimate spiritual power is currently being forged by heaven. The terrified darkness desperately tried to convince you that these signs meant you were going crazy. They maliciously wanted you to doubt your own sharp spiritual intuition. They foolishly hoped you would just ignore the repeating numbers and the intense late-night wake-up calls. But a true master of reality never ignores the subtle but powerful whispers of the glorious divine realm. You clearly see the fake matrix code breaking down all around you today, and you confidently step right over the pathetic and desperate illusions of the defeated enemy. You are the one who survived the brutal storm, completely alone. You fought the terrifying invisible demons when nobody else believed they even existed in the room. Now the invisible realm is manifesting visible rewards directly to you. Your physical reality is violently bending to match your newly upgraded spiritual authority. Every single time you see 111, you must remember that you are a highly dangerous weapon of light. The heavens are loudly cheering for your imminent total victory right now. The huge spiritual portal for June 28th is glowing brightly in the near distance, and you hold the only key to enter. The glorious moment you prayed for has finally arrived today. The incredibly long, painful wait is completely over. The ultimate secret of June 28th is finally revealed. This is the exact magical day when the entire spiritual defense system of your malicious enemies completely collapses into absolute worthless dust before your very eyes. You are standing directly at the glorious finish line. They truly thought they could aggressively hold you back forever. They foolishly assumed their dark, heavy walls were entirely impenetrable. But God just blew those heavy iron doors completely off their rusty, ancient hinges with a mighty cosmic wind that shakes the earth. The brutal and exhausting spiritual drought is finally over. The massive heavenly wealth is rapidly rushing into your hands. You are the undeniably powerful chosen one today. You are no longer the broken empath who desperately begged to be loved. You are no longer the forgotten victim crying alone in the silent, dark room. The hot crucible of intense pain has beautifully forged you into the untouchable master of your reality, and you now command the unseen forces with absolute, undeniable grace. You are the absolute ruler of your new timeline. Your pure energy demands total respect without a single spoken word. Do you feel that incredible shift in your spirit right now? Do you feel the heavy iron chains falling off your tired human shoulders? That intense physical feeling is the high frequency of absolute and undeniable victory, violently rushing into your earthly body to heal your deep wounds. The universe is heavily crowning you. You are the chosen cycle breaker. The ancient dark family curse is completely and totally shattered. Every single tear you cried was actually a powerful seed planted in the divine realm. Every quiet prayer you whispered in the dark was carefully recorded by the angels. God is openly rewarding your beautiful resilience in front of the very toxic people who deeply doubted your incredible spiritual power and mocked your journey. The grand table is fully prepared. You are sitting at the absolute head of the feast. Their malicious plots against you have completely backfired. Their desperate and wicked traps simply caught their own clumsy feet. While they helplessly drown in the bitter, dark karma they selfishly created, you are gracefully rising into extreme divine wealth and supreme earthly power. The heavy divine gavel has loudly struck the wooden block. The final divine judgment is entirely yours to heavily execute. Breathe in this glorious, triumphant air right now. This is exactly what ultimate spiritual freedom actually feels like. You bravely fought the brutal, invisible demons completely alone. And because you survived the violent storm alone without begging for human help, the generous universe is happily handing you the master key to the kingdom today. You are a highly dangerous weapon of pure light. Your shining aura is completely blinding them. The dark matrix simply cannot hold your massive energy anymore. The fragile earthly rules no longer apply to your newly elevated spiritual status. You literally shift the dense spiritual atmosphere of an entire building simply by walking quietly into a crowded room with your head held high. The powerful angels are marching right beside you. You are completely and utterly protected from all harm. The long, painful season of miserable waiting is officially and permanently closed. The dry and barren desert you walked through has suddenly burst into a beautiful oasis of divine favor. Every stolen blessing and every missed opportunity is being returned to you with massive cosmic interest right now, because heaven always repays its faithful warriors perfectly. Open your tired, heavy hands to the glorious sky. Receive your grand prize from the generous angels. The pitch-black darkness has officially retreated far behind you. The bright dawn of the glorious new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. But you must clearly understand the critical physical danger of this exact highly elevated emotional moment before you decide to close this video. The jealous enemy is currently watching you very carefully. They are desperately waiting for you to leave. They know they absolutely cannot stop the massive blessing from arriving on June 28th. They realize their dark power is entirely broken, but they desperately hope you will carelessly leave this sacred alignment unprotected, and they pray you will just walk away without locking your spiritual doors. If you simply walk away from this high frequency right now, your spiritual gates remain completely wide open. The desperate demons will attack immediately when the screen goes dark. You must physically lock this glorious frequency into your earthly reality today. You cannot just feel this intense euphoria and then quietly return to your normal daily routine. You urgently need a physical action to create an absolute shield of divine protection around your new massive blessing before the shadows strike again. You must officially seal this beautiful reality. Heaven strongly requires an immediate energetic exchange to finalize the sacred contract. The immense spiritual wealth is literally hovering right above your physical head at this very second. You must boldly reach up and forcefully grab it before the jealous dark shadows try to violently steal it away from your hands again. Your human body must actively respond to the high frequency. The angels are waiting for your specific command. The raging spiritual fire inside your chest must be permanently anchored to the physical ground. If you do not firmly anchor it today, the harsh, chaotic winds of tomorrow will easily blow it far away. The generous universe is extending a golden pen for you to officially sign your new royal decree, and you must act immediately to secure your timeline. Do not hesitate for a single earthly second. Claim your glorious royal throne right this very moment. You must lock in this glorious frequency and create an absolute shield of protection around your life today. Type exactly 111 down in the comments right now. You must boldly declare your absolute readiness to the universe today. Do not let this holy moment pass by without taking physical action. Seal this beautiful new reality permanently, right now. The physical act of typing is your powerful spiritual signature on the divine contract. Heaven requires your willing participation to finalize the massive wealth transfer scheduled for June 28th. Hit the subscribe button to establish a divine energy receiving station for your home. You need to remain securely connected to this specific high vibration. If this fiery message has successfully reignited the powerful faith deep inside your tired soul, Do not keep this great blessing entirely to yourself. There is a lonely soul out there desperately bleeding in the dark of despair today. They desperately need a guiding light to survive the storm. You must share this exact message with them immediately. Multiply your own blessing by saving someone else. Sowing the tiny seed of hope today is actively multiplying the massive harvest for your own tomorrow. You are making a firm promise to your future self right now. The empath who constantly begged the blind world for basic understanding is completely dead and gone. You have officially graduated from the brutal school of profound earthly suffering. Stand up incredibly tall and claim your prize. The dark crucible of intense pain has beautifully forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. From this exact moment onward, your pure energy demands absolute respect without a single word spoken. The universe is heavily placing the royal crown directly upon your head. You are a highly dangerous weapon of pure and brilliant light. Your quiet presence is enough to terrify them. You have completely broken the heavy generational cycles that ruthlessly destroyed your ancestors in the past. Your brave bloodline will remember your glorious name for 1,000 years because you refused to surrender. You did not let the toxic narcissists break your beautiful and forgiving spirit. You held on to your pure love when the whole world turned incredibly cold. That pure love is your ultimate superpower today. Now you must prepare your earthly vessel to receive the massive overflow scheduled for June 28th. The divine wealth transfer is completely unstoppable at this point in the heavenly timeline. No demonic force or jealous human being can ever steal what God has personally inscribed with your name. The heavy iron doors of your wealthy future are forcefully blown wide open. Walk through them boldly and claim your throne. Look straight ahead and absolutely refuse to glance back at the burning ruins of your painful past. The old timeline is completely reduced to worthless grey ashes behind your marching feet. The people who desperately tried to bury you simply did not realize you were a highly potent seed. They actually helped you grow into a massive, towering tree of absolute spiritual strength. Your deep roots cannot be violently pulled up. The universe is eagerly smiling upon your beautiful, radiant face right this very second. The mighty angels are standing at complete attention around your physical body to form an impenetrable shield. You will never have to beg the blind world for scraps of basic love or ordinary attention ever again. The divine kingdom is handing you the master key to the royal treasury. Your days of lonely, starving are truly over. Close your tired eyes for just a brief moment and feel the massive weight completely leaving your chest. Breathe in the pure golden air of absolute victory and supreme spiritual liberation. You are safely anchored in the highest vibrational frequency that exists in the entire known cosmos today. God has finally declared your absolute innocence in the highest heavenly court of justice. You are perfectly clean and incredibly worthy today. Declare down in the comments that you are completely ready to receive your glorious kingdom connection. Speak it into existence with absolute unshakable confidence right now. Do not whisper your grand desires to the massive universe anymore. You must loudly command your bright new reality to instantly align with your powerful divine destiny. You are the ultimate master of your own fate. The monumental date of June 28th will forever be celebrated as your true spiritual birthday. It is the glorious day the lonely empath finally died and the untouchable cycle breaker was powerfully born. Ensure you have completely sealed this message by sharing it with another chosen one today. Hit the subscribe button to firmly lock your earthly vessel into this heavenly frequency. Your spiritual shield is fully active and unbroken. You have brilliantly survived the brutal storm completely alone without any earthly help. Now it is finally your time to gracefully walk in the warm, glorious sunshine of God. The massive wealth transfer is securely placed inside your open hands. Go forward in absolute quiet authority and conquer your beautiful new timeline. You are truly and deeply blessed forever, my friend.